What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Let's talk about a touchy subject, Trevor Bauer. If you're on Twitter or X, you've seen over the last week or so, it seems like Trevor Bauer is a big topic of discussion amongst Cardinals Nation in terms of some people say, hey, Cardinals need pitching. Trevor Bauer's a good pitcher. Give him a chance. Other people are like, no, I want no part of Trevor Bauer. We've talked about Trevor Bauer a ton on the radio show, Hot Take Central 590 The Fan. But because Trevor Bauer is sitting here without a job, and also I did watch and listen to Trevor Bauer with Theo Vaughn, the podcast. I want to say it was over 2 hours. So, nobody cares. But Sunday before Super Bowl, I'm thinking I'm gonna tackle a project. I've been meaning to clean the garage out for a while. So I throw on the Theo Vaughn, Trevor Bauer podcast for a couple hours and I start going to town on cleaning the garage. And it was very interesting. And it's one of those things, look, clearly we have reports and evidence that this one particular woman, it sure looked like from the text, was trying to extort Trevor Bauer. Now, we don't know what else went on in terms of other allegations, other cases. From the evidence I saw from these texts, it sure looked like the one woman was trying to extort Trevor Bauer. Now, I wasn't there. Sexual assault and consent, you're talking about, to me, there's a lot of gray areas there with rough sex and things like that. I'm not even going to get into all that. What I'm trying to say is I understand this usually happens in the media cycle where when the allegations come out, everybody thinks this person is guilty. And then over time, more evidence comes out. And then obviously Trevor Bauer is doing the media tour. And I'm not going to lie, he comes across pretty dang likable, like a normal guy. Again, if you're watching him for 2 hours sit with Theo Vaughn, he seems like a nerdy dude who is smart and was kind of a nerd growing up. He said he got bullied. And by the way, in me saying this, I don't know what happened. All right. But I think early on, everybody thinks the guy's guilty. Then he does the media tour, comes across as a more sympathetic character. You say, oh, I kind of like this guy. I feel like this happens a lot of times with a lot of stories like this. And that's why, look, I'm not going to sit here and say I know exactly what happened. Here's what I'll say. In terms of paying his price of not pitching in MLB and being suspended, and there was a ruling, what, a year or so ago by a third party arbitrator that said he was allowed to pitch. So those are the rules. And if he hasn't been criminally charged, again, I don't know what happened. But if he hasn't been criminally charged, the man is allowed to make a living. And I said this last winter, by the way, when people were saying, hey, should the Cardinals or somebody sign Trevor Bauer? You don't have to love the dude. You don't even have to think he's innocent. He's allowed to pitch. This is the man's job, which is why a bunch of people have been asking me on social media, hey, would you sign Trevor Bauer? I would. You don't have to love this dude. Okay. Now, is there going to be some baggage with the fan base? Sure. I don't think it'll be as bad as a lot of people think. Trevor Bauer hasn't pitched in MLB since 2021, by the way, with the Dodgers. He had a 2.59 ERA and 137 Ks in 107 and two thirds innings pitched. And of course, he played and pitched in Japan last year. I'll give you his stats. Also really good in Japan. So pitched 21, about half the season, Dodgers. Didn't pitch 22, didn't pitch. So what? Sat out for about a year and a half before he pitched last year. So let's see. He had 24 games. What are we looking at? 11 and 4, 2.59 ERA for, is it Yokohama? And 160 strikeouts in 156 and two thirds innings. So good strikeout numbers, good win loss. I don't really care about that. Don't be mad at me. Wins matter. Pitcher wins. I don't think they do, but whatever. 2.59 ERA. So he was pretty dang good. That was his age 32 season. So what is he now? Is he 33? He's 33. He just turned 33 January 17th. So not young, not super old. He's not 37, but 33, you're getting up there. Yeah, I think his arm's pretty fresh though after not pitching for a year and a half. So another part of this that I was thinking about, when you have allegations of sexual assault, and every case is different. You have people who go to jail for this and come back and play sports. You have people in a civil trial, for example, who will have to pay a settlement, which I don't think, from what I've seen, right, that's not the case with Trevor Bauer. I just think it's weird to me how some people, we forget about it, others we don't. And part of the reason I'm doing this video is because I did think about this as I was watching and listening that Theo Vaughn podcast with Trevor Bauer. It was right around the time, was it last week, that there was a statue built for Kobe Bryant. The statue unveiling at is it Staples Center, whatever the hell it's called now, isn't it? Is it a crypto, whatever the hell? But you know what I'm talking about. Lakers statue, Kobe Bryant. It made me think again about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is now super popular. Mike Tyson went to jail, right? Kobe Bryant in the civil case had to pay off this woman and basically, I don't remember all this, and I shouldn't even go off the cuff with something so serious, but he had to basically admit that his take and her take on the situation were different, right? That he believed it was consensual, she didn't. All I'm saying is, I've always been uncomfortable, for example, with the legacy of Kobe Bryant. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. I remember being on the radio the day after he died. And look, it was a super sad story for himself and his daughter. But I don't know what happened. I always felt uncomfortable celebrating Kobe Bryant with that incident. I've always felt a little uncomfortable. Like Mike Tyson now. He's a super popular. He's in commercials. He's doing the podcast. So to me, it's more about, I feel like we selectively forgive and forget some people, but not others. Is it because of time? Is it because they're really good? Do you look at every situation differently? Again, I mean, Mike Tyson went to prison. Kobe Bryant, in the civil case, had to admit his perspective on the situation was different than the woman's. Trevor Bauer has no criminal charges. You do have to look at every situation differently. But I don't know. I guess in the sports world, I just find it weird that we kind of just forgive some people quickly, and then we celebrate them if they're good at their sport or in the media, and then we don't forgive other people. And every situation is different. There's different degrees to this. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm kind of rambling here, but I did think about this as I was watching the Theo Vaughn podcast, and it's just kind of odd to me because, again, the statue was being built and unveiled for Kobe, and here's Trevor Bauer not criminally charged. And I read an article, or I saw a headline just before I started recording here. Even the Pirates, if the Pittsburgh Pirates don't want you, so what's going on? It does seem like there's some type of collusion, I have to say, among MLB teams. And maybe MLB, their investigation. Look, this is what I'm saying. I don't know what has happened. I don't know what's happened with other women, by the way. Trevor Bauer even said in that interview with Theo Vaughn, look, I would have women who would contact me on Instagram, and I didn't realize until this that I could be a target. I'm not saying he's innocent of everything, by the way, but he said, I realize now, a woman would contact me. Well, why are they coming? Why are they contacting me? They know I'm a baseball player. They know I make a ton of money. So he's had to change his behavior. And all this to say, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying Trevor Bauer's a great guy. I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong, right? There's a difference also between right and wrong and and a criminal charge and whether or not a person can have a job, right? If a person was a plumber, they should be allowed to plumb. Is that the right terminology? This guy just happens to be a baseball player. He's a pitcher. This is what he does to make a living. And if he's paid his penalty through MLB, he sat out a year and a half, and there was a ruling in his favor. He pitched in Japan last year, pitched pretty well. I think he deserves an opportunity. Now, I'm not saying I'd love to have him on my team. Like, I don't really care about about that. I don't look at these players as role models, right? If you need a pitcher, like I understand there's some baggage. So if you had a pitching staff that was ready to go, you probably don't roll the dice. If you really need pitching, do you roll the dice? Look, I'm just telling you right now, if the Cardinals signed Trevor Bauer, I would be okay with it personally. If you disagree, that's fine. That's fine. You're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to disagree. The dude hasn't pitched in MLB since 2021. He pitched last year in Japan. All right. And until I hear more about this situation, from what I know, not saying he's a perfect human. I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong, but in terms of criminal charges, they're not there. And we've seen evidence from the text that this one particular woman, it looked like, was trying to extort him for money. That's all I know. And that's why I'm not even trying to get all in the details of this, man, with consent and sexual assault. And I'm not even saying this particular situation, but sometimes when people are drinking and things are happening, and look, man, I don't know, but I do think Trevor Bauer should be allowed to do his job, which is a baseball pitcher. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you disagree, let me know. Jump in the comments, comment, like, subscribe. Do you like what I said? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Share the show, share the channel, put it in your group text, put it on social media. Spring training is starting. I saw some pictures on X of media folks already there. Jeff Jones is going to get us some content down there. We'll have some video, hopefully some interviews, some video, some audio interviews. Whenever something interesting happens, we'll make sure Jeff gets us some content down there, so we'll have coverage of spring training. All right. And I did a Super Bowl video earlier. So if you want Super Bowl talk, it's the video prior here on YouTube. All right. See you guys. Have a great week, everybody. And let me know what you think about Trevor Bauer. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Jump in the comments and let me know what you think. And I will try to answer as many as I can. All right. See ya.